Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Abdul. And good morning, all of you, once again, and welcome back to the course on artificial intelligence and soft computing. During our previous session, we started with the different searching techniques. Especially, we discussed about the theoretically as well as we implemented some program which are related to the depth first search algorithm, right? And also, uh, in the previous session, we were discussing about the different problem solving method, and we discussed about a few real time examples like eight puzzle problem, eight puzzle problem, and then eight coins problem, and then we discussed about the traveling salesman problem. Also, we discussed about the cannibal as well as missionaries, shifting from one bank of the river to the other bank of the river. So these were the few example which we found a solution through the real time problem solving technique. In that, we discussed about initially we need to identify our initial state, and then we need to clearly identify our goal state, and then whatever the intermediate state we are crossing or we are passing to reach the goal state, that are called a successor state or the state space search. And then there are different types of algorithm through which we can find or we can reach the goal state, through which how we are traversing from our goal state, from our initial state to the goal state. Depends upon that, there are different searching techniques that we are going to discuss in the upcoming slides also. And based on the searching, right, there are two broad category of searching technique. The first one is that uninformed search, and the second one is that informed search. When you talk about uninformed search does not have any information about the goal state or where how to reach the goal state, right? This uninformed search which will know only the information about the current state and the next state, right? Suppose it does not have any complete information about where it start and where it ends, right? But it will, this can be called as a blind search or a brute force attack or brute force search, right? It will keep on searching all the possible methods. Suppose if we wanted to reach from Rizvi College of Engineering to Bandra Station, right? Suppose if you are not knowing any idea how to go, right, and you will be having the different paths when you are exiting from the gate, and you may take left or you may take right. After, if you are reaching the Carter Road, again you may take left or you may take right. Very similar to that. So now this uninformed search algorithm, which will try all the possible methods now to reach the goal state. Suppose if it is not reaching the goal state, and then it will come back to the previous state, and then it will try for alternate solution. It takes diversion from any point of time. Once if it is found there is no goal state, if it reaches the dead end, it will traverse back or it will backtrack, and from that moment again it will take diversion and will try to find out an alternate path through which it try to reach the goal state. So this is what how the uninformed searching technique works. In that, when we talk about uninformed search, so the searching technique which allow only the information about the current state, and uninformed search techniques which will not have the complete information about all the paths through how it can reach the destination. So it will try one by one, and then finally it will try to find out the goal state. So under this uninformed search technique, we discussed about the breadth first search as well as the depth first search. I'll do the quick recap of the breadth first and then depth first search, and then we'll move to the next one. So when you talk about the breadth first search algorithm, so this algorithm which works on based on that the first and first node operations, right? So first the root node will be identified, and then all the siblings are the child of the root node which will be expanded first, irrespective of whether it is the first one or second one, third one, right? It may start from the right end or it may start from the left end, right? But all the level, suppose if we consider that root is the level 0, and the siblings are I could say that the child for the root 0 is that level 1. Say for example, a is the root node, B and C are the child for the root node A. B and C are to be visited first, then only it will move to the next one, right? In this strategy, the root node is expanded first, then all the nodes generated by the root node are expanded next, and then their successor, and so this has to be continued unless until it reaches the goal state, right? So in generally, when we talk about the breadth first search, all the nodes at the depth D in the search tree are expanded before the nodes at the depth d plus 1. That means that suppose if you wanted to visit the level or depth 3, before that you should have visited all the node in the depth or level 2. Then only it will allow to move to the next level. So this is what the basic logic or concept behind the breadth first search. Again, so this is some of the quotations. Suppose if you are using the queuing functions, right, and add as the children at the end of the open list. Say for example, if I'm A is the root node and the children which will be added, right, in the queue, right, A ka children B and C, that will be added at the end. Right, once if the A is visited, then B will be visited first, and B's ka children will be added at the queue, right? And then the C will be visited, and then C's children will be added at the end of the queue. By the way, so this process will be continued unless until it reaching all it visits all the nodes until it finds the goal node, right? Again, so it's a level by level search. As I mentioned, first it will search for the level 1 and then level 2, then only it will move to the level 3 nodes. The order in which children are inserted and open list is in arbitrary. In a tree, assume children are considered left to right unless they specify differently. Whether so you may consider about that whether it is if you are following that how the nodes are inserted in the tree, whether that may be you may follow a uniform strategy, whether it is a left to right consideration or right to right, right to left considerations. Now, when we talk about the breadth first search, this the children which is are the algorithm which is completely based on the branch factor. When you talk about the branch factor B, which is the number of children which are associated with any parent node. Say for example, when we talk about a binary search tree or binary tree, and that every node or every parent node will have the two child node, right? Very similar to that. If we talk about the other complexities, so these were the diagram which we discussed in the last lecture also, right? This is again I'll related with the depth or the level, I could say that. So if this is the start state and if you wanted to reach the goal state, in the first level you have the three options, right? Maybe these are the three child for the start node P and then E and then D. Either of the D or E or P has to be visited first, and then once if this three nodes are visited, then only it will move to the next level with that is level 2, right? Maybe from P it may reach to the Q, again from D it may visit B or D. All these the child has to be visited. When it comes to E, each childs are H and R. All these nodes are to be visited whenever it wants to move to the next level. After that, so these are the third level, I could say that zero level. Red the start which is indicated, let's assume it's a zero level, and then the vertices which is indicated in the light green which are level 1, and then the vertices which is indicated in the blue that are the level 2, and then the vertices which are indicated in yellow are the level 3 steps. After that only we may reach the goal state. So we need to search or we need to move the four levels. Instead that whatever the nodes which are present in all the levels which has to be visited, and finally only will reach the goal state. So these are the illustrative with respect to that how the breadth first search algorithm which visits all the nodes level by level. Again, suppose if the goal node is not possible in either of the direction, again it may traverse back and then it take diversion, it try to find out an alternate route. So this is what we discussed in the previous session. Along with that, I'll add some other points with that breadth first search. So here the example which I consider is the binary search tree. Let's assume that so if this is the root node, A is the root node, right? First a root node has to be expanded or visited. If the root node is visited and it has to be expanded, its child are B and C, right? Either B may be visited first or C may be visited first. For this example, I am considering that left to right visit. First B is visited. This is, I assume this is the first child of A. So B is visited first. After that, from here I'll traverse back to the root node and then I'll move to the right subtree of A. And then I'll visit C. So in this level, I have completed both the child of both the children of A, B, and C. So these are the two children visited, and so this is level 0. Level 1 is completed, and next we supposed to move to the level 2. In that cases, again it will from C, again it will come back to the B subtree, left subtree, and it will start expanding the node B. When we are expanding the node B, it has two children, right? D has to be visited first, and then it move back. Again, it travels back to the node B. Again, it will goes to the right subtree. E has to be expanded. E has to be visited. Then again from here it will traverse back to B, and B to A, A to C, and then C to E. So this is the first child of C. So this has to be visited, and then it will traverse back to the parent node C, and then from C to G. So this node has to be visited. Then in case if the goal node is not found in this search or in this level, then it will move to the next level. Again, if D would have expanded with the some other level, say for example G, H and I, H will be visited first, and then I will be visited second. So by the way, it has to be continued in the level by level. Is it clear for all of you how the breadth first search algorithm works? I hope this is again a third time or fourth time I'm explaining about the breadth first search, and you might have got clear with the concepts. I'll move with the analysis part. When you are talking about uh, the different complexities, when we talk about any search algorithm, that needs to identify that the completeness, how the performance of any searching algorithm which is measured based on the 4 parameters. The first one is that completeness, whether whatever the algorithm which you are using to find out a goal state, whether that algorithm is reaching a completeness, or whether it is providing a solution, whether it is finding the goal state or not. That is the first one. The second one is that optimal solutions, whether that algorithm which you are incorporating to find the goal state, whether that is the optimum one. When we talk about the optimum, so that means that, so based on the different parameters, right, and we need to identify that whether the algorithm which we are using, whether that is the best one. Say for example, if I consider about the number of pathcasts, or the pathcasts which involve in the searching tree, so we are assuming that whatever the searching technique which you are going to use, that is going to be the shortest one. So in that cases, the algorithm which reaches the core state in the shortest path, so that we are going to consider as the optimum solution or optimum method, right? And the third factor is that the time complexity, and the fourth one is that space complexity. When you talk about the time complexity, the amount of time required to reach the goal state for the selected searching technique, so that is going to be considered as the time complexity. And then when we talk about the space complexity, the amount of memory which is required to store all the nodes as well as the intermediate space when we are doing a searching a goal. That cases, both the time as well as space complexity, which completely depends on the three factors. So the first one is that the branching factor B, which is called a branching factor. When you talk about the branching factor B, so that refers to that the number of children for any particular root node has. Say for example, if I consider about the binary tree, every node will has a two children, right? In that cases, what will be the timing complexity? Again, the next element, when we talk about the three element which I mentioned about, three element which will know define the time complexity as well as the space complexity. One second. Okay, the second the thing which is going to define the time complexity as well as space complexity is the depth. Depth, which is indicated again in D. D refers to that the number of level, right, where the tree has. Say for example, in the previous example, I was explaining about level 0, level 1, level 2. So that are called D. Suppose in the previous example, I was talking about that D level 2 is equal to 2 means that the D value which will be 2, right? So in this diagram, Suppose if I wanted to find a solution, so here the level is 2, level 0, level 1, level 2, right? Again, when we talk about that, how much time which is required to reach the goal state, which is completely depends on that b power d, right? So here, this is what here you will find out the number of the searches which we can do is that maximum is b power d, which is my binary search tree will has the 2 nodes, and then which will be 2 power 2 if I'm reaching in the level 2. So I need to have that 2 power 2, which I need to do the 4 searches from the root node to any one of the branching factor, maybe the left side tree or left subtree or the right subtree. I'll be reaching the goal state, right? So this is how the time complexity which will be measured. Now, what is the problem with the time complexity of this breadth first search algorithm is that, so this is okay when we are using a depth first search with two subtrees or the two branching factor. Suppose in the same case, if you are using a tree which is no 10 subtrees, this is again an example for suppose if the branching factor is 10. Let's assume that each node has a 10 child, 10 children. Suppose in the root node A, which has the 10 children, again the first child of the root node again which has again 10 children. So if you imagine that if the tree is bigger in size, and so you can't imagine that. So in the depth too, you need to visit 1110, which is again which requires 11-second memory required, which is required again, which is b power d. So each and every the root node as well as children nodes which has to be stored in the memory in order to get in order to do the comparison with the goal state. So this is what a simple time calculated estimations. Suppose if you have the tree which is 8 level or 8 depth in the same scenario, which consider about a 10 branching factor in that cases, which may requires your process or computer which may requires 31 hours to do the searching process of all the nodes. So how many nodes you will have in case of if you have the 8 levels when the branching factor is 10, which is 10 power 9 nodes or vertices which will be present in your tree. So it requires 1 terabyte of memory space in order to store all the nodes and other related information. So when we talk about this the breadth first search algorithm, so this could be easily implemented when it in case of if the level is considered, if the depth level is minimum, and then the branching factor is minimum, so then this could be the optimum solutions. Otherwise, if the depth is increasing automatically, so the problem searching technique, the time complexity as well as the space complexity, which will increase exponentially. Is it clear for all of you? Is that clear for all of you regarding the algorithm analysis of breadth first search? When you are talking about the performance of the breadth first search, which will be measured using the formula b power d. B is the branching factor, and then d is the depth. Based on the branching factor as well as the number of level the tree as nodes, based on the two factors, your other parameters will be considered. So this algorithm, breadth first algorithm, which will be simple to implement, but whenever if there is an increase in the node or increase in the branching factor or increase in the level, so automatically the time complexity as well as space complexity, which will increase exponentially. So this is what the complexity which we are facing when we implement an breadth first search algorithm. Right? So again, the same example which I was explaining about, right? Again, what I could say that this is order of time complexity as well as the space complexity, which are related to that order of b power d. B is the branching factor, d is the depth level. Next, we'll move to the depth first search. Already we add a few fundamental, the basic which are related to the depth first search. When you talk about the depth first search, which is completely different from the breadth first searching technique. When you talk about the breadth first search, in the breadth first search, first, if you are expanding any node, all the children which are associated with the root node has to be visited first in case of the breadth first search. When it comes to the depth first search, we start with the root node and completely explore a descendant of a node before exploring its siblings. So that means that suppose if I for the given graph or the tree example, if I consider A is the root node and EA is the two children's 2 and then 3. Out of that, we are going to focus on only one subtree. So 2 will be expanded first, and we will be again out of this, it has the two children. Again, out of that, only the left child will be expanded first. You may start from the left side or you may start from the right side. Suppose if I am considering only this node, out of this 2, I mean, if the node 1 or root 1 has the two children, 2 and 3, I may start expanding the node 3, and then I may start expanding it's the right subtree, which is 7, and then I'll start expanding the node 7, and then I'll keep on, finding the nodes or childs, right, wherever I reaches the dead state, and then I will traverse back. Once if the according to this graph, according to this tree which is given, suppose if I started from this side, 1 1 2 3, and then the right node I have to visit 7. After that, the 7 which has no child. So again, I'll go back to the parent node which is 3, and then I'll explore or I'll expand the node 6. Again, I'll check that whether the node 6 has children or not. It doesn't have any child. Again, it will no, I'll go back to the root node and then I'll move to the left subtree. And then I'll visit the node 2. Again, I'll check that the node 2 which has the two children's 4 and 5, again I'll start exploring with the node 5, and then I'll check that whether the node 5 has any children or not. It does not have any child, and again I'll traverse back to node 2, and then I'll go to the node 4. I'll expand this node, and then I'll check is there any children or not. Otherwise, the searching process will end. Is it clear? So by the way, so you can start traversing maybe the left end or right end, but whatever the searching technique you are going to follow, that is to be commonly followed throughout the searching process, right? So here they were given some traversals, which is no, which is completely straight opposite with what I traversed. So here they mentioned first 1, 1 to 2, and then 2 to 4. Again, it will go back, and then 5. Again, it will move to the subtree, and then 3, 3 to 6, and then it will go to the 7. So this is how the depth first search technique, which do the searching technique for the given problem statement. All right, as I was explaining, the depth first search always expand one of the node at the deepest level of the tree. Now, what is the problem with the depth first search here? The depth first search, irrespective of the number of branches it has, out of that, it is going to consider only one subtree, and that subtree's child which is going to be continuously, it is going to go deep, and then no, from the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, no, it keeps on moving unless until it finding, unless until it reaches the final or the leaf node. I think you might be knowing about leaf node. A leaf node is something that the node which has no child, right? So irrespective of whether the goal is no, whether it is in the final leaf node or not, right, and it will keep on moving or moving towards the end or to the leaf node, right? And once if it finds that there is no goal state, then it will traverse back, and then it will try to move to the next subtree. So here there are chances that, and there could be chances that it may reach a infinite. So it depends upon the deep, right, the number of level it has, right, and there can be a possibility that it can be a infinite loop can be possible. Suppose in case if the tree has a cyclic, or the graph or the tree which has the cyclic, in that cases again, so the cycle will be formed. So the searching will not move away from the two nodes, visitor node and then parent node, child node, parent node, child node. The cycle might have formed, right? And then the other factor is that suppose if the depth level is infinite, again the time complexity, again which will, the space complexity might be less, again the time required to find the goal state which will be no more complex when compared with the BFS, a breadth first search. the depth first search algorithm which will works last in first node, because so it doesn't consider about the siblings directly. It is going to find out that the recently created node, that means that the children of any node, that is going to be focused, expanded. So this is another diagram through which I'll try to explain depth first search. For easy understanding, I consider only the binary search tree. So here, this, let's assume this is the A is the root node, and the node has two children B and C. First, A has to be visited, and then its first child which has to be expanded first. So you may start either right side or left side, it doesn't matter. But so once if you are visiting that node, and you will not be able to move to the further subtree. And as for this example, A is the root node. First I visited B, and then once if the B is expanded, B is visited, and B node has to be expanded. B has the two children D and E, right? I'm ignoring about the right subtree of each, I mean each node, and then I am focusing only on the left subtree. So now I will move to the left subtree, which is D. I'm interested in D. D will be expanded. Now again, D has the two children, H and I. Again, I'll move to the left child, which is H, and then so suppose this tree which has only this two levels, sorry, three levels, 0, 1, 2, 3. Level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. This tree has only level 3 for easy understanding, right? Once if the H is visited, then it will travel back to the node D, and then it will move to the D1. After that only it move back to the uh, previous root node B, and then the right subtree will be visited. E will be visited. Once if it reaching E, again root E will be expanded. Root E, which has the two children J and K, again left subtree of the E will be visited. That is, J will be visited. After that, J doesn't have any child. It will traverse back to E, and then the right subtree element, which is K, which is going to be visited. Once if the left subtree is completely visited, then only it will move to the right subtree of A. Is it clear for all of you? Then it will reach, it will visit C. C will be expanded. C has the two children F and G. It will move to the left subtree. F will be expanded. F has two children L and M. L will be visited first, and then M will be visited, and then it will travel back to F, and then to C again. G will be visited. Then once if it reaches G, again it may have the some other childrens, maybe no G, H, I, J, whatever it is, right? Again, those two nodes will be visited finally, and the tree will be complete. Is it clear for all of you how the depth first searching algorithm which works? Next, we'll discuss about the analysis or the timing, as well as the space complexity and other benefits which are related to the depth first algorithm. As I mentioned, the depth first search has very modest memory requirements. So when compared with the memory point of view, so this may consume less memory when compared with the breadth first search, but it needs to store only a single path from the root to the leaf node, along with the remaining and expanded sibling nodes for each node on the path. So because it is going to consider only the one node, or it is going to consider only one root to children, and then root to children, root to children, root to children. So it is completely based on that the number of level which is going to be, it is going to crash, right? For any state space with the branching factor B, the maximum depth M. So let's here I may indicate the M or L. L, which may be refers to that the depth, or maybe the level. The depth for search requires a storage only B and M nodes. So based on the branching factor as well as the number of depth. So this is what the memory space which is required. And so this is when compared with this the breadth first search. In that we were discussing about what was the time complexity was, as well as the other the performance. The number of node which has to be visited was B power D. B is the branching factor, D is the depth. So here we can say that again. So instead of D, I am mentioning M. So you can use the B and D, right? It is completely based on that, the branching factor as well as the depth. So this the analysis are the performance measures of the depth first search, which is comparatively less, which is multiplied with the branching factor and then depth. So this is less when compared with that the performance of the breadth first search, which is B power D. Right, again the time complexity, space complexity as well as again when compared with that. So here when we talk about the time complexity, so this will be very similar to that the breadth first search, but when it comes to the memory, only the memory will be less when compared with that the breadth first search. How the time complexity is going to be the same, because suppose if you are traveling, if you are traversing in any one depth, and if you are not finding any solution or any goal state, in that state again it has to travel back, and then it's supposed to search all the nodes or all the subtrees in the tree which has to be visited, because the searching process which is going to be the same, right? So if there are n number of if we consider about this the complete binary search tree with respect to the level 3, all the nodes which are going to be visited, irrespective whether it's the breadth first search as well as the depth first search, right? In order to say for example, the goal state maybe, if I assume that M is the goal state, right? So suppose if the goal state is at the last, right? It needs to search, it needs to visit all the nodes in order to find out the goal state. So by the way, the timing required for both the breadth first search as well as the depth first search, which is going to be B power M or B power D, right? Again, so there are chances that particularly bad if the tree is infinite low. Suppose if only one child, so say in the same diagram I'll try to explain. Suppose this tree which has ended with the level 3. Other than that, suppose if only the left subtree which is expanded with the 20 levels, in that cases it will keep on moving to the level depth 20 levels. And suppose if the tree has the infinite level, in that cases again, so that will make more complex. So these are the some of the issues when you are facing with that, when you are implementing this the depth first search, right? Is it clear for all of you? If the meeting ends, join the meeting after a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Whatever the videos which are recorded, that needs to be converted into MP4, which requires some times. We may start after a few minutes. So this is again quick comparison. When compared with the breadth first search, the space complexity is less, but when we talk about the time complexity is